Chris Walton, by your own standards, it's been a lean stretch. We haven't seen you up the front for a long time.
No, it's not the way we wanted to be on the front row, but hey, we're going to take it we can. We're going to try and keep it here for these points for the championship now.
You are the defending champion. Adelaide, you did okay, but since then she's been pretty tough.
No, it's been a struggle, but I'm pretty sure we've got top foot now, so we're just going to try and keep up these Commodores for this round and see how we go.
As a defending champion, you've got to be angry and hungry and determined to win. I reckon we're going to see some good racing in this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't want to be dropped down the field like we have been, so we all want to win races. That's what we're all here for, so I'm just going to try as hard as I can to start fronting.
Get those angry eyes happening, and I'm sure we'll see you at the end.
Thanks, appreciate it.
What a place to go racing. Not too far from where we're staying in that part of the world, overlooking the yachts, the beautiful part, the Strand to go walking around in. And I'm sure there'll be a few people out keen to check out the nightlife in Townsville as well at the end of what's been a massive weekend.
Walton looks like the calmest angry guy I've ever seen, and that's the secret to being fast in a race car. You've got to be angry, but you can't put those angry inputs into the car. And what better way to spend your Sunday morning if you're into racing cars is being out here at Townsville and getting to rip a ute around the track. It's the ultimate thing to do on a Sunday morning for a race car driver.
It's not bad at all, and Walton has that front row alongside Jeremy Gray, who was also off the front row and did a very good job. And Darwin, Adam Marjoram continuing his strong season, starting off the second row. McLeod, he's been pretty killer as well. McNally celebrated his birthday with pole position and a race win yesterday. Tell you what, everyone inside the top 10 is a guy to watch out for, to be honest.
It's a stack pack. Anyone could win this race.
But the series points leader out of row 6, Royal Harris, not having a good weekend yet, needs to turn his luck around. It's a progressive race finish for the grid in the next race, which is coming up later today, race 3. Michael Arman, one of the bigger names towards the back, that should be good to watch out for. Andrew Fisher as well has had some brake issues. Just hasn't been able to pull up that big 1.8-ton ute in the corners. There's the points leader. Holidays for Life is the sponsor, and he has been doing a pretty good job this season, but it's just started to slip away. And as a result, Marjoram, McNally, Cedars have all started to close that gap. The real loser yesterday was George Miedeke.
He had an issue, went down a lap, got it back out there again.
Went down 5 spots in the championship in one race.
So he can reclaim it here. As you said, where you finish this race is where you start your third race. So George has just got to have the elbows out, move people out of the way and just move that ute forward, get a good grip position. There he is at the back there now, all the way down the back.
With some work to do, he's got Bruce Oaklands for company, who was putting in the fence in the first corner yesterday at about 180 k's an hour. Never a nice way to start off a race.
No, well, he'll dust up the back of the pack pretty quick. Then when he gets into the mid pack, that's where he's going to find trouble.
Getting some heat into the Yokohama tyres that have already completed a qualifying session. Some guys 2 qualifying sessions. And then on top of that, also the first race, they pretty much have to keep these tyres on for the weekend. You are allowed to bring 2 tyres from past race meetings with you, but they also obviously would have done a fair bit of work too.
Bit of work, guys gridding back. I went down to the dummy grid before the race. A lot of banter, a lot of niggling between the drivers. Nathan Pretty calling everyone a muppet, trying to fire him up.
Sounds like him, getting people excited. Now you're riding on board with a man who is going to make that Ford Falcon extremely wide. He doesn't think he's got the pace to go with the Holdens, and he's got 4 Holdens starting by, actually make that 6 starting behind him. So a couple of Fords on the front, but the Holdens have had the pace. So this is actually set up quite nicely here. Jeremy Gray, who actually won a race back here in 2010 in similar circumstances in his rookie season, is also off that front row.
There's that green flag. If Gray can get the start, he's got the speed to beat Walton. If Walton gets a jump,
well,
he'll back him up.
Watch out for 2 guys off the second row as well in Cedars and Marjoram as we get set for the reverse grid race. The Utes in Townsville, let's go.
Walton gets a flyer. Gray's going to come across and cover off Marjoram. Has he got enough of an overlap? Marjoram's going with him and he's getting swamped.
These boys are going to be 3 wide through turn 1, and Gray goes back to 4.
Cedars is in there too. Marjoram up to second. Someone's having a look down the inside of McLeod.
That's a big go. I think it might be Pretty.
Pretty. It's 3 wide, won't do. Dottis is going to get hung out to dry here, as he does. And that fence just comes in and you can't get back across.
Lee Nicolau riding on board with him, his first race meeting this weekend at this track. And Cedars hanging tough around the outside of Marjoram. That's the battle for second. Problems for Hanson. Can he get that thing turned in? He just does, but he'll cop some spots as a result. And this is working out nicely for Walton as Cedars
gets
second.
Marjoram.
Good job. Couple of Holdens battling
Andrew
there.
Fisher, this is going to be 3 wide. We're going to have an...
There goes Peter Burnett on the outside. That was never going to work. Jeremy Gray in 4th. And yesterday's race 1 winner in the Stratco Ute has some work to do. Back in 6th.
So McLeod, the big loser, going back 2 spots. He's now got to get aggressive.
Well, Oakland's. And that was ongoing. We saw the beginning of that one.
Started at 5 and ended at 7.
Oh, McLeod up the inside of McNally. Great move.
As I said, he's got to get aggressive. And he has. He wants to show everyone what he's got. And just threw it up the inside.
Oh, no, and he's fenced it.
He didn't make it out. So that's...
Oh,
okay,
dearie
the best
me.
thing he can do here is prop. Try and get back to the pits, but he can't.
No, the left front was hanging off and he's just missed the pit entry. And all of that wind has been taken out of his sails. He was in such hot form. Jared McLeod pulled over, stranded at the last corner of the first lap.
So Walton now under pressure from Cedars.
Oh, and Dottis from
Dottis throws it down the inside.
And he taps the man who started on the front row, but they get through. It's giving him a little bit of damage.
They tried to get off him there, doing the right thing.
For second, he goes to West Aussie. They give each other just enough room, but there's a small touch.
Cedars will have the line for the next corner.
Oh, he's close to that inside wall.
If Martin can hang on the outside, he'll get the switchback, but he won't. And this is all falling into Walton's hands. Walton's just trying to drive away from these guys. He knows he doesn't have the pace of the guys behind him. He's just going to hope they keep fighting.
That's good, strong racing between these two. They gave each other a small touch, but they also gave each other just enough room.
He's got the overlap now. He'll have the inside for the next corner.
No, not quite. Walton, meanwhile, is using this battle behind him to get just a little bit of a gap. He'll be watching it in his mirrors, saying, have at it, gents. Exciting stuff at the beginning of this race as they fan out. Oh,
and Ryle Harris gets one from Beachy. Just carrying that extra weight, it's just hurting him, isn't it?
All he can muster is 10th at the moment, and there is the stranded ABC Towing Ryco 24/7 Ute. ABC Towing, a local company that have come on to help out Jared McLeod this weekend, and he was so confident. I actually walked through the gate of the track with him this morning, and he just had a real pep in his step. He was up and about, he's buoyant, and that unfortunately has really ruined him.
When you get aggressive in real ute racing, sometimes you just get wounded.
Well, if he can be aggressive later, he gets the glory of starting from last, and we'll get to watch how far up the field he can jump.
That's all he can do from here.
So Burnett got pushed wide in a 3-wide battle, and he's come sliding back onto the racetrack and caught one from Richard Mork, I think that might have been.
Yeah, well, nothing Morky could do much about that.
That's a huge
Morky tried to get out of it, and Bruce Oakland's had nowhere to go.
Oh, it was side by side with Nathan Pretty.
Nathan Pretty, and
he went in hard there.
Nathan just knew that if he got into the side of him.
Oh, I don't know, actually.
I think it was McNally return and serve, was it? Maybe. We need to have another look at that.
That's hard to see. Craig Donis would have had a pretty good view of all that one. It unfolded right in front of him. One of 3 Erebus cars inside the top 10. Cedars is all over the back of the Renko Ute. The Holdens have closed that gap in quick succession. Nathan Pretty's looking good here. He's got some car speed about him this morning.
He was talking it up. He was talking it up like a WWF wrestler on the dummy grid.
He's the only man to have won a race in both of the last 2 events here, so he wants to go 3-peat. That's how they've moved and shaked in the opening to this race. East Coast Bull Bars on board once again. The V8 Utes, there is a local yellow down there, so no passing until you see the green that's waving right at the finish line. And Cedars with a good run wants the lead.
Yeah, he's got this done. Walton knows it, and just will move out of the way and try and consolidate. There's not a lot he can do except just keep on trucking here.
Marjoram might be able to sneak in here and be a part of this battle. Walton with great drive at the exit.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough. He's still going to have the overlap, but he's got to watch out he doesn't get caught out. Best thing is tuck behind like he does.
Clever.
Yeah, and we're racing for grid position, so if he can hang here, he'll still be on the front row of the grid, and he'll still get a nice haul of points. Cedars should truck away here now. The Commodores have got a little bit more speed here this weekend.
So Marjoram needs to get that job done. Paul, you mentioned earlier that we wouldn't mind seeing if we could depict what happened to Jared McLeod. It was awfully close down there before McLeod went into the fence. Have another look at that.
I'd like to have a look at it. I'd like to have a look at the move he put on McNally as well, because I'm pretty sure it was a tit for tat.
This is the corner where it unfolded down at the bottom hairpin. And it was the Dunlop side on the outside there that he went into. Let's see if we can figure out, watch the top of the screen, was there contact?
I think maybe just with the rear, and of Nathan's shoot, but I wouldn't say that was deliberate. McNally, definitely nothing to do with it. So I'd say when he's passed McNally, he's had a bad run.
Someone's facing backwards in the background. It might have been Cam Wilson. Hard to pick.
Marjoram having a look now. Throws it down the inside, gets it done.
Nice.
Walton's just going to try and do the same thing here and hang on. And everyone's going to come with him if he's not careful. He's trying to get back across, trying to tuck back in behind Marjoram. So he's just got to breathe off the brake pedal here and slip in behind him, which he does. And he's just going to get eaten up every time down there at turn 2 by these Commodores. They're so quick here this weekend.
Yeah, they get a good run out of the last corner, and that's actually where you set up that move, even though it's good.
He's the lone wolf in a Commodore pack, isn't he? The boys are just hunting him down.